Paige West here from Procurement Pro, and I'm in Las Vegas this week at the EDS Leadership Summit, and I'm here to bring you the latest from the industry. Now, joining me today is David Luna, who is the VP of Global Distribution at Orion Fans and IO Audio Technology. So hi David, how are you? How's Vegas?
Pretty good. I mean, it's a very, very compact few days that have a lot of meetings and just a lot of activity, and obviously collaboration and interaction with, some of the best suppliers, reps and distributors in the world, and then people like you guys on the media side.
Of course, and there's certainly a lot to talk about this week.
There is. I mean, tariffs a big one, but it's not as bad as it used to be. That was before.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so let's chat about Orion Fans to start off with. So the company has over 40 years of experience in thermal management. So how has it evolved to meet the needs of today's global market?
I think our biggest claim is to have a broad line of products, but also have the inventory. Mm-hmm. And inventory is key. Our distributors do stock, but we want to have the stock as well. So even before COVID, we made a push to have more stock. We doubled up our inventory. That's continued. And because of that stock, we kind of get away from all the stuff that's coming in on a geopolitical range with tariffs and all that stuff, because these are pre-tariffed or whatever. And then so we stock our top runners pretty much very exclusively to make sure that we can supply what the industry needs.
Fantastic. And you have a broad range of products as well, from AC and DC fans to motorized impellers and custom assemblies. Are there any particular product types that you're seeing particular growth in at the minute?
We're trying to go larger on our new technology, which is EC, which is electronically commutated, because that industry the industries are looking for lower power solutions. And EC is kind of a key into that, and not a lot of our competitors or other suppliers in that market are expanding with that, but we're trying to expand in that market. We're also looking at very niche specialty markets like harsh environment applications, where they need something like a very high-end IP rated fan or product to meet the elements of the applications. If it's an outdoor, even for EV chargers, they're outdoors, so they have to have some protection. So we have the broadest range of IP68 and IP69K fans in the industry in both AC and DC and EC actually. And then we're also looking at explosion proof, so ATEX rated parts that basically you can't spark. And a lot of the other suppliers out there aren't focusing as much on that. They're focusing more on different things. We're trying to go after that market because we think it's a market that's going to grow.
Brilliant. Let's move on to IO Audio Technologies now. So you guys have a long legacy in cable and interconnect manufacturing. So how do you differentiate yourself in a competitive landscape?
Well, and that product, that was just a product that we've done those types of connectors and things in the past, but now we decided to create the company in 2018, mainly based on doing the whole cable assembly. So not just the connector, but the whole cable assembly. And our competitors, typically that we deal with, is only doing the connectors. They have other companies that make cable assemblies, but we're the only company that does both the connector and the cable assembly. And then we differentiate ourselves because of that, and our capability of doing value added and do different links and do different things that a customer might need, or they have to do themselves. And so that makes it a little bit easier to sell, because we give them a complete solution.
And again, you've got quite a broad portfolio. So which categories are you seeing in high demand at the minute?
Well, I mean, it's obviously in this range, it's mainly for the Pro AV and the broadcast market, but we're starting to see it in medical, because medical, these connectors are for signaling and things like that. We're also seeing it in vertical farming. We're seeing it even in I'll say military applications. I mean, SpaceX and people like that are using the product. So it's starting to grow a little bit more. It's not just purely for the Pro AV market, but that's actually what it's based on. I mean, that's what we geared it for, was mainly the Pro AV side. I mean, you look around at any convention that you go to, they're using lighting and sound equipment and different things. These are wireless, so you can't do it. But if they weren't, they would have a little XLR on it, and you would connect it to a cable. And so we try to tap into that market. And it's a growing company. We're not we don't have the brand awareness yet,
Okay.
because it's only been, well, it's been 7 years now, but it takes a while because we're not the first person coming in. We're coming in a little late. So,
of course.
but yeah, I think it helps because they know our solution selling and how we do value added.
And you've touched on it briefly already, but how are you responding to the current geopolitical tensions and the tariff uncertainty at the minute?
Well, the president of our company that's what he does. He's typically top of the notch of knowing. We always do in our presentations, he always talks about his crystal ball. So he looks at that and that's all he does. He looks at what's going on truly in the world and what's actually happening, and then taking the real, not from the news or anything like that. He's looking at things like that. So we're always on top of it to try to make sure that we're bringing in, our supply chain is always as efficient and good as we possibly can, bringing in product. But you got to work with not just tariffs, you got to work with monetary things like, the dollar is devaluing compared to other currency. You have to watch that. You have to make sure you're in line with that, keep up with that. And then you have to make sure that you're buying at the best price possible. And then we try to then, give that and communicate that to our distributors. And we don't want to separate tariffs, but tariffs are just a natural thing. We have to do it.
Yeah.
And we don't know where that's going to be. We don't know what's going to end up, but we know what it looks like. We kind of have an idea of where it's going to be. And so we basically try to set ourselves up to have pricing that's competitive in the market, but also not get us all in trouble, because you could be paying extra money when you didn't realize it. Because whatever comes in, even if it's on the water, you're gonna have to pay for it once it comes in.
Yeah.
Whatever that tariff is, or duty, or something like that. And he watches that very closely. Luckily, I don't have to deal with that, but he watches it very closely to make sure that we've got the best possible solution, the best pricing.
And as VP of Global Distribution, how are you working with partners to navigate sort of the current challenges?
I started back in 2016, where I got involved with the Department of Commerce for the United States, and I started working with a local group in the Dallas area called the North Texas District Export Council. And I'm actually a member, and I'm the second vice chair on the District Export Council. And that's a global deal. We have 60 locations throughout the United States, but we work with SMEs, small medium enterprises, to help them export products into other countries, to try to give them, give them ideas of how to do that. And with the Commerce Department, I was able to connect with them, and they have services. Some are free. And they'll go in and go to each country and look for either a customer or they'll look for a distributor for me. And they've helped me do that. Since 2016, we went from $700,000 in Europe to over $10 million in 2022.
Brilliant.
Come down a little bit because the market's come down a little bit. And I've also added 15 new local distributors in each country. Because of ERA, who's here, I found out that there actually are some reps in Europe now, not a stocking rep, which is typically what it used to be.
Yeah.
In Europe, these are actual reps that are just representing you, just like the representatives here in the States. I just hired one in Spain, which I'll be seeing in a couple weeks, and I'm working with one in Israel, and we're looking at one in Brazil and some other territory, and that just gives. We're a small company, right? So I can't do everything.
You try.
I try. But it'll give me that local support. I want to have local. What the term I used back in 2016, it's on my board at my office, is if I want to be global, I have to be local. So I called it globalization means localization. If you can't have somebody, you have to have somebody local. So some of these engineers or buyers or whatever, these companies, they don't want to, they'll buy, online, but typically they want somebody that they can see face to face.
Yeah.
So if I can have a local distributor support that, then I can have a local rep. Then they represent me and our company and our capabilities and our solutions, and that's kind of how we were able to grow the business. And so it's worked out really well for us.
And how have distributors' expectations changed? You know, are you seeing a greater demand for technical support or faster turnarounds, more local inventory?
Yeah, they're always looking for more help. They're looking for more application guys, and thinking we're starting to do that, where we're giving them application guys to help them out in certain industries. And they were based, so we'll do one on medical, we'll do one on EV, we'll do one on kiosk or signage, digital signage. We've done one on railway, because we sell into the railway market, which is interesting. Vertical farming or agriculture. And then we give them these basically application guides and give them, here's what it looks like and this is what's used. And that gives their salespeople or their inside salespeople, basically to see what they could be selling. Because they could be selling to a customer, but they're not looking at the whole picture, And so we're trying to give them an idea. Hey, if you're selling that power supply, guess what? You might need a fan for that because it's hot, something like that. So it kind of helps, because we're not a sexy product. We're just a product that helps out, and you got to be kind of looking for it. So we try to train them to look for that. Same with our reps. We try to train them to look for that opportunity.
So given all you've said then, what are your key priorities for the next 12 months?
Right now, we've just introduced a new product, so we're really trying to make sure our distributors are stocking those products, or at least listing them and showing them, to try to expand in the marketplace. Because of our push to go for harsh environment and those niche products, we've come up with some new products that are based in that. And then obviously, we don't want to throw product or stock into distributors. We want to allow them to build the stock based on their customer requirements. And then we're all working with them on push outs and pull-ins and things like that, because they're all still worried about what's going on in the geopolitical marketplace and how customers are doing it. So we're allowing them to schedule orders.
Okay.
And basically up to 2 years, and lock in their price now up to 2 years, which again gives them the ability, they don't have to worry about what happens in 6 months. They've already got it locked in, because we're either stocking it or have it coming in stocked at that price. So that helps them out too. And then, just more brand awareness of our company and what we have capabilities of doing and what they can do for us. And, just really more, I'm all about face-to-face. I like doing virtual meetings. Are cool. I like it because you can do it all over the world. It's a great thing. But I still like being in front of these people. That's why I do travel over to Europe a lot. I mean, more than I used to. And then I do travel all over, the States and try to see it. So
brilliant. Is there a key message that you're sharing here at EDS this week?
I think, well, let's see, what is our key message? I think our message mainly is that we're still here. We have product. We have a lot of product. We're inventorying up as much as we possibly can to help them out, help the distributors out, help our reps out, help our customers out. And just remember that, we're going to work on a solution that's best for them, and hopefully we can work together to have that stock available and be able to deliver on a timely manner, because that's the other key thing, is you got to get product here too.
Yeah.
That's another terrible subject, is trying to get product in from overseas into here. It can be challenging coming into the West Coast. West Coast could have issues with not just the longshoremen or anything like that, but getting it on a rail, all that. We have to navigate that too, to make sure we're getting the right product and getting it on time when we say we are. So I think that's the key, is meeting our promised dates, having the inventory, scheduling what we can with that customer distributor, and then maintaining the best price possible.
Fantastic. Well, that's some great insight. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, David, and enjoy your week in Vegas.
Oh, I thank you very much. Good seeing you again.
You are
Paige.
very welcome.